Welcome to the second public engagement session for the master planning exercise for Confederation Heights. My name is Dennis Jacobs with Momentum Planning and Communications. We recognize that the City of Ottawa is located on traditional territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people who have lived on this land for millennia. We extend our respect to all First Nations, Inuit, Métis peoples for their valuable past and present contributions to this land. We also recognize and respect the cultural diversity that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people bring to the City of Ottawa. Now I will pass it to Catherine Constantine, Director of Real Estate for Canada Lands Company.
Thank you all for joining us today. Canada Lands Company is a federal crown corporation that specializes in real estate development with the Government of Canada as our sole shareholder. For those of you not familiar with us, you may be asking yourself, what do we do? At Canada Lands, we work to create the best possible outcome for Canadians through our development. We acquire properties from the government that are no longer needed and reintegrate them into their local community. For more information about our company, I invite you to visit our website at clc-sic.ca for more. Focusing on Confederation Heights, we believe we can improve the design and transform it into a viable mix of uses, and this is why we are here with you today. A key to a successful outcome is you and your participation throughout our public engagement process and this workshop, and we encourage you to remain engaged throughout. We thank you for your time, and we appreciate that everyone has busy lives and your participation is invaluable to us. I will now ask Julie Waddell-Smith, Senior Director of Public Services and Procurement Canada, to say a few opening remarks. Julie, over to you.
Merci Catherine. Bonjour à tous. Je suis très heureuse de vous rejoindre aujourd'hui pour la deuxième fois. At Public Services and Procurement Canada, one of our central roles is to provide federal departments and agencies with productive places to work. Confederation Heights will remain a federal employment center, but our goal is to improve and to strengthen this site for federal employees, residents, and visitors to Ottawa by introducing new uses to this area. Avec l'aide de vous tous et de nos nombreux groupes d'intervenants et d'engagement, nous voulons réaliser le potentiel du but de la Confédération pour répondre aux exigences de demain, tout en commémorant et en valorisant le travail du passé. Today, as we bring forward the vision and guiding principles for the master plan, we seek to create a framework that will steer the future of Confederation Heights. We have strived to create a vision which is holistic and reflective of the input that we've received and those desires that have been expressed by people who have participated in the process thus far. J'ai hâte d'entendre vos réflexions et je vous remercie d'être venu aujourd'hui pour prendre part à cet important processus. Your input and insights are an essential contribution to the creation of the master plan.
This step in our process is about gathering and considering all of the big ideas you may have for the site. All ideas are welcome. In our presentation, you will see a term called potential intervention areas. I wanted to bring this to your attention in particular to ensure that you have a clear understanding of what this means. The intervention areas are those we are contemplating at this stage as possible opportunities for redevelopment, refurbishment, preservation, among other uses. We want your ideas to inspire our design approach and for our planning teams to think broadly about what the site could look like in 30 years. Your feedback will also be immensely helpful to PSPC as Julie and her team continue to study their office, heritage considerations, and Indigenous engagement priorities and the needs for the future. Let this be a canvas for your thoughts. As we move forward, we will develop design concepts inspired and informed by what we hear from you. Once you have viewed this presentation, you will have two activities where you can participate. The first is an ideas wall with sticky notes, where we will ask you some questions to inspire your thinking. Please provide as many ideas as you wish. Look for the Ideas tab on the main page. Julie, over to you to describe the second activity.
The second activity is our Places tool that features a map and pins. These will allow you to select a land use and other features and pin it on the map where you would like to see it. And you can also include a comment with the pin. Again, look for the Places tab on the main page. We hope you enjoy the presentation and activities. And again, thank you very much for your time and helping us with this project.
Now let's get started. But first, a bit of an introduction of the company that was chosen to lead the master planning exercise. Foten Planning and Design are a local firm that specializes in planning, urban design, and landscape architecture. Matt, would you like to introduce your team, please?
Thanks, Dennis. Foten is excited to be the lead consultant in the development of the master plan for Confederation Heights. Together with my colleague, Hajani Padaraz, we will walk you through a short presentation that will highlight some of the site's existing conditions, opportunities, and constraints. Later on during this presentation, the vision statement and overarching guiding principles will also be presented. It's important to note that we are working with a large multidisciplinary project team to ensure a fulsome and comprehensive master plan for Confederation Heights. I will now walk you through the project timeline. Overall, this master plan will be a 4-year project that will provide ample opportunities for public and stakeholder engagement, either through public engagement sessions, workshops, or through the engagement website. We are currently working towards preparing our design approach for the site and draft concept options for the study area. The input we receive from you will help us inform our approach. Within the near future, we will start to draft master plan concept options. We will continue to reach out through different mediums to gain public input, and we look forward to continuing our dialogue with you during this important step. Once a preferred option has been selected, we will prepare a final master plan document that will be taken to the NCC for approval. It is estimated that the project team will seek policy and regulatory approvals in 2024 and 2025, with shovels in the ground no earlier than 2026. I'll now ask Dennis to give you a quick update on the public engagement process to date.
Thanks, Matt. Here's a brief status report on engagement activities since the last public meeting. In November 2021, we had the first public engagement events, and these were complemented by activities available on our interactive website. A summary of these events and activities on the website is in the As We Heard It report, which is now published and available on our website. Since then, we have created the Technical Advisory Committee, the Public Advisory Committee, and have held individual working sessions with both groups. In addition, we have also had internal engagements, several targeted workshops, ongoing communications with stakeholders and landowners. The presentation today reflects the input from all of these sources. Here are the emerging themes revealed through the feedback collected during the public meetings, posted on the project website, and sent in by email. These themes have provided a foundation for the project team to prepare the vision and guiding principles you will hear today. Now, back to you, Matt, so you can walk us through some of the site background information.
Thanks, Dennis. I'll now go over the site context and highlight a few key points we've identified through our analysis so far. To provide a high-level context of the study area, here's an aerial snapshot of Confederation Heights from 10,000 feet. Confederation Heights is a federal employment campus located approximately 5 kilometers south of Ottawa's downtown core. Overall, the study area is 188 hectares or 465 acres. The site is bound by the Rideau River to the north and west, Data Center Road and Sawmill Creek to the east, and Brookfield Road to the south. Along the northern and western edges, there are several parks: Mooney's Bay, Hog's Back, and Vincent Massey Parks. The master plan will look to enable new and improved connections between Confederation Heights and these parks. The master plan will not drive changes to the size, ownership, and programming of these parks, and no development will be proposed on these lands as part of the master planning process. Within the federal employment campus, there is a heating and cooling plant as well as some buildings of federal heritage importance. Also included as part of the study area is the RA Center along the northeastern edge. Most of the study area is recognized as a mixed-use center in the City of Ottawa's current official plan and as a hub in the new official plan. The intent of the official plan is to see these lands develop into a higher density mixed-use community. The lands within the study area is owned by 6 different parties, including PSPC, which is the largest landowner in the study area. These are all the lands colored in red. It owns the majority of the lands on which the federal government employment is located, as well as land on which the RA Center is located and portions of the Sawmill Creek. We recognize the RA Center as a stakeholder in this process. The NCC also owns a large portion of land within the study area, including the parkland along the Rideau River and some lands in Sawmill Creek, shown in dark pink color. The master plan process will consider ways to improve connections to these areas. Canada Post owns the lands located to the southeast of the intersection of Heron Road and Riverside Drive, which is shown in the dark purple color. Health Canada is a custodian of the rectangular shaped parcel that is colored orange on the north side of Brookfield Road, west of the Airport Parkway. Both Canada Post and Health Canada are recognized as federal stakeholders in the study area. The City of Ottawa owns the land within the study area which is not colored, which includes municipal roads such as Riverside Drive, Heron Road, and Bronson Avenue, including the on and off ramps. Finally, CN Rail owns the rail line along the eastern edge of the study area, which runs parallel to Sawmill Creek, as shown in the black dashed line. We will now go over a series of maps that summarize some of the technical studies and analysis being undertaken as part of the master planning process. First, here you will see a map indicating existing pedestrian and cycling paths and lanes. The influence area contains several active transportation paths and laneways under several ownerships, including municipal, NCC, and PSPC. This means they receive different levels of maintenance throughout the year. It's important to highlight that the Rideau River Eastern Pathway, part of the National Pathway System, runs along the west and north boundary of the study area. As you can see, a significant amount of active transportation infrastructure is already available on site. With that said, there's an underlying lack of connections and maintenance between these different existing networks. There's also a lack of signage and wayfinding, making the site difficult to navigate when moving within and through the site. The urban blocks are too large and difficult to walk through. The roads and intersections within the area prioritize the car and are not pedestrian friendly. In addition, insufficient accessible pedestrian crossing alternatives exist, resulting in an uncomfortable and inequitable pedestrian experience. I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Virginie Paderaz, to go over the next few slides.
Thank you, Matt. This graphic illustrates the existing and planned transit routes within the study area, which include an existing bus rapid transit route that runs north-south, the future bus rapid transit route planned to cross the study area in an east-west direction. 2 new stations are planned along this line, one at the intersection of Riverside Drive and one closer to Airport Parkway. The third major transit route is a light rail transit that is currently under construction. This is represented by the red dashed line that crosses the study area. A large portion of the study area is located within a 400 to 800 meter walking distance from these stations, which is generally a 5 to 10 minute walk. However, there are also a few challenges that will need to be addressed. For instance, there are significant grading changes and slopes between the light rail transit station and Heron Road, which is one of the major circulation of the site and transfer route to the future bus rapid transit. Also, when arriving at the LRT station, the first thing you notice is the heating and cooling plant building and several parking lots. So at that location, it's very difficult to locate yourself and understand how to get to any specific location within the study area. Also, there are vast and often underutilized surface parking lots within the study area that provide opportunities for redevelopment and intensification. So on this next few slides, we're going to present some of the heritage buildings that are existing on the site. On this slide, we see the 1500 Brownson property, which is a classified heritage building, and 875 Heron, which is a recognized federal heritage building. These two buildings are envisioned to be preserved and upgraded to current building standards for their continued use. And here we have the Sir Charles Tupper building and the Sir Leonard Tilley building. These are recognized federal heritage buildings. Several studies are being undertaken to explore the options for these structures. This next image illustrates a view from Airport Parkway looking north. This view is part of the capital arrival route identified by the NCC and is considered a scenic entry route in the city policy documents. This next map focuses on the floodplain and stormwater management within this area. The Rideau Valley Conservation Authority has jurisdiction over the lands within the dark green line. The red line illustrates the 100-year floodplain mapped by the Conservation Authority. This map shows that both floodplain line and regulatory limits are mostly located on NCC lands, shown here in light green, and do not impact the lands where the RA Center is located. Also, existing stormwater outlets have been mapped and are shown here with red dots, and there's a future envisioned stormwater location is shown in light blue. There are also a few sensitive environmental features that have been identified, including woodlots such as these shown here. These are potential habitat for endangered species, such as the little brown bat and other wildlife. The area is currently being surveyed, and butternut trees are likely to be identified on site. This existing conditions map summarizes the major existing aspects we need to keep in mind through this exercise. First of all, the areas highlighted in purple are potential intervention areas. As previously mentioned, these are lands that could see change over time, and we're looking for your input on what these could look like in the future. The green diagonal areas are environmental protection or sensitive areas that would likely not receive substantial changes. We have also identified physical constraints, such as the train tracks and slope topography that present themselves as challenges to accessibility and connectivity. And the purple arrows here are representing potential new pedestrian connections to be explored. On this slide, we provide a high-level overview of key opportunities of the study area. There has been significant investment in public transit, which provides an opportunity for transit-oriented development. This will help meet and potentially exceed federal and municipal climate objectives. There is also opportunity to develop a complete and sustainable community within the next 25 years by providing a mix of uses and amenities and implement affordable housing within the urban core. We can also look at how to celebrate the site's heritage, including recognizing and commemorating the Algonquin Anishinaabe through design, and also ensure continuity of green space and natural areas. There are also great opportunities for accessibility improvements. However, there are significant constraints that should be addressed, such as, even though the light rail transit line and major tier roads are great circulation assets, they also fragment the site and complicate pedestrian and cycling connectivity. The various transit stations are located in different grades, presenting a challenge for accessibility. Also, there's a lack of adequate wayfinding and legibility on how to get to and from different locations within the site and from the site to the surrounding neighborhoods. I'll now pass it on to Julie and Catherine, who will introduce the proposed vision and guiding principles for this master plan.
One of the most important elements of a master plan is to establish a long-term vision for the future for the area. This will aid the project team, community members, and stakeholders to work towards a common goal. Based on the feedback from the public engagement session, stakeholders, the Public Advisory Committee, and the Technical Advisory Committee, the project team have drafted the following project vision statement. Confederation Heights will become a vibrant place to live, work, and play, rooted in its existing natural and recreational assets. The design will integrate a mix of uses and public spaces to create a complete, climate resilient, and well-connected community that serves as an important gateway to our nation's capital.
In support of this vision, a set of 7 overarching guiding principles were established that will guide the project team and future development to achieve the long-term vision over time. I will now go over the overall intent of each of these guiding principles. The first of these guiding principles is create connections. Realize the potential of public transit and other transportation options to enable safe and accessible travel by foot, wheels, or transit through and into the site. Enrich access to nature and recreation. Promote and protect natural assets, including Vincent Massey Park and Hogsback Park, by involving access to green space, recreation, and by enhancing Confederation Heights ecology. Celebrate culture and heritage. Recognize and celebrate the heritage and long history of the site, including honoring the Algonquin Anishinaabe to foster a cultured, rooted, and distinct sense of place. Ensure climate resiliency. Develop a climate resilient community through the implementation of measurable sustainability ideals and initiatives. Develop a complete community. Transform the site into a vibrant mixed-use community where existing federal employment will be complemented by a range of new uses that will make Confederation Heights a place to live, work, and play. Design with people in mind. Use a design-based approach to transform Confederation Heights from a vehicle-focused campus to a place that prioritizes the needs and well-being of people. Be an inclusive and accessible space for everyone. Ensure that spaces and amenities are welcoming, safe, and accessible, and prioritize affordability for a diverse population.
I hope you found this video presentation helpful in understanding the project to date. To provide comments or questions, you can contact us by phone, email, or regular mail. Please feel free to try your hand with the interactive tools on the website, and we look forward to reading your suggestions. Thank you.